Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about the book Refugee by Alan Gratz. This is the author of Prisoner B3087, a book that we use for book clubs in 7th grade for our historical fiction units. So if you haven't read that one, that's another great one. But I want to talk about this book today because it's new and it just came out in July. So it's 3 stories of 3 different characters that are refugees. So the first character is, it's during World War II, and the main character's father is put in a concentration camp. And he's actually allowed to leave the concentration camp on the condition that he leave Germany. So he and his family become refugees, and they are boarding a ship called the St. Louis, and they are on their way to Cuba. And so you follow his story to see what happens to him and if they actually make it to Cuba. The second story is of a girl who actually lives in Cuba but is trying to get to Miami because it's the 90s and she and her family are in the midst of what's horrible conditions going on in Cuba. Like the Soviet Union is just broken up, and so their country is suffering from all sorts of just political unrest, and then just the country's in a state of poverty. So she and her family get on a makeshift boat of sorts, and they are floating to Miami, which is 90 miles away. And so her story follows, the family and another family that are trying to leave Cuba. The last story takes place in 2015, and it follows a family who are refugees trying to get out of Aleppo, Syria. And so it follows their story as they struggle to get through the country without incident, and they're actually trying to get to Germany. So it's pretty cool because it's 3 different stories, but you will see that the author does a nice job of weaving in some things that connects a couple of the stories, so that's pretty cool. This book is amazing. I read it in a day. I could not put it down. And even though each chapter is a different character, you find that you just want to keep reading because you're like, oh no, what's going to happen to Joseph? And you have to wait 2 more chapters to find out. So highly recommend this, historical fiction if that's what you love, or if you just want to learn more about different situations that these people are going through. This refugee sometimes gets this negative connotation, but they are actual real people, that need our help. So I hope you enjoy.